part 2 here now. I know it's pretty cool. I was just running out of space of my other video, so I had to cancel it. So yeah. Let's carry on.
Now back over at AJ's farm, we see that she and her family are trying to turn their farm into like a shelter for the ponies of Ponyville. As AJ was gathering wood and other supplies, she heard Sweetie Belle screaming in the distance. When AJ ran over to her, she found not only Sweetie, but also Rarity. And while Rarity is clearly beat up, she doesn't seem to be infected. I am a little worried about the wound on her leg, though. I wouldn't be surprised if later on
it might be like a tiny infection,
but I'm hoping not.
Like a normal infection, not like the real virus.
Now, I'm happy to see that Sweetie Belle is completely fine physically, but of course she isn't doing well emotionally. She basically just watched one of her best friends turn into a monster and still doesn't really understand what's happening. It also breaks my heart that she's holding on to this little piece of Bloom's bow, almost as if she's still holding out hope that her friend will come back to her. But based on this image of her here, it's safe to say that she is not going to be saved. And if that wasn't bad enough, she's also started
she could be saved on that stage, I would be
more of them
actually so shocked.
Next,
she got taller.
She is now running through the streets, heading over to Twilight's place.
Way taller.
When she got there,
she was way taller than before.
The front door was open and the house was empty. So she simply kept running around the town looking for any ponies clean of the infection, only using her knife when she absolutely had to. Now, the thing that worries me here is, where is Spike? I'm pretty sure he was in the castle last time we got an update for him. And I'm hoping that he's still okay, because just like Rarity, he's another one of those characters that usually gets screwed over. Now, some good news is that Twilight has finally made it to Celestia's castle and is able to barricade the door. But to my surprise, when Twilight finds Celestia and Luna, the sisters are already well aware of what's going on in the town, and more importantly, they understand full well how dangerous the cutie pox can be. And something else that I find interesting is that Luna went into Apple Bloom's dream after she became infected, and whatever she saw was so bad that she refused.
Okay, I have a feeling at the end, Luna might get infected because, well, she looks so sleepy in this picture. Okay, hang on. Let me get more research
about it. And to make matters even worse, she's now been unable to sleep after going into her dream. We also see that Princess...
Wait, this actually might be a chance of Luna actually getting infected, but she might get infected she might have got infected in the dream. Like, not in real life, but, like, she looks perfectly fine, but, like, she's not sleeping good, so it might be signs of, like, infections or something. That's my guess.
Cadence has come to Ponyville, and the three of them have been working in shifts to try to find a cure for the outbreak. And while seeing all four of them together now kind of gives me hope, I'm really curious to see where Discord is, because I think they're really going to need him to actually step up in his AU. The final scenes in this chapter are a series of sketches that show Spike sleeping in his bed until he gets a message from Twilight, and it simply says, "Get to the castle, be safe, don't get bit." So at least we get to see that my boy is still safe.
Yeah, my boy.
The next chapter starts with this weird red hue over Ponyville, and I was confused about this until I saw the update stat sheet for Rainbow. Apparently, she's been flying around Ponyville non-stop ever since she was infected, and the red images show us how Dashy actually views the town. Now, at first, I thought that she was flying around as a way to stay away from other ponies, but that's not the case. If she sees any pony clean of the infection, she'll dive down and bite them. And since we all know that Dashy is one of the fastest ponies, there really aren't many ponies that can avoid her, especially if they get caught out in the open. Next, we see Shy again, and we learn that when she saw Rainbow flying away in the previous chapter, she didn't try to go after her. But once she made it to town, she saw how many ponies were infected or just straight up.
It says right here, she grabbed Angel and ran into her Ponyville, hoping to find any kind of help. When she was instead, she saw death and blood on the rested there. She collapsed into the ground, giving up, and kept whatever would happen to her. Pinkie Pie found her and Angel in the state.
Lifeless. Seeing this, she initially had a breakdown and curled up right in the middle of the town, but luckily, Pinkie was able to find her and get her back on her feet. It looks like the two of them
okay, Pinkie might lock in this virus. Look at her. Look at her. How cool she is. I love how she has like those things on her on her on her hooves, but it might be for protection, like so she doesn't get bit.
Out in Pinky's shop for about another day, and now they have decided to go see if they can actually find Twilight. And the reason that Shy is completely covered in a black suit and Pinky has this scarf and the leg warmers is because they're trying to cover their body any way that they can to prevent infected from being
Oh, I
able to
knew
bite
it.
them
Whoa.
easily. But one piece of
Why
good
did
news in this
I
chapter
keep
is that
Shy
Gummy and
in it?
Angel are still alive and hiding out in Pinky's workshop. And while the two of them are clearly traumatized, they at least have each other and are keeping each other entertained. Zakora is completely gone at this point. The only thing driving her now is her hunger and the will to do violence to any pony that she can find. When we move back over to AJ, we see that she is still reinforcing her farm and helping any injured pony that needs shelter. The good news is that a bunch of ponies have gathered on the farm now, and they're all banding together to keep the biters out, which is the name that they've given the infected. And while I'm happy that some of the ponies are doing well, I don't like that AJ seems to be overworking herself. Because honestly, we need her to stay in tip-top shape, considering that she's kind of the leader of the shelter. We also get to see that Sweetie is still safe and even started helping out more around the farm, but the same can be said about Rarity. While she looks fine at first glance, when we zoom in here, we can see that her wound is slightly infected, and I doubt that it's a normal infection, but I'm hoping that I'm wrong. Now, back at the Canterlot Castle, we see that Twilight is still reading any information that she can about the Truth Seed or any other possible cure, but just like AJ, she's overworking herself. Celestia is trying to help out when she can, but she's also splitting her focus with looking over the ponies down in Ponyville. She's also been trying to get her sister to get some sleep because Luna has been awake for 2 days straight. She's been acting very frantic ever since she tapped into Apple Bloom's dreams, and she still won't share with anybody what she actually saw while in the dream world.
Wait, was that one of like the states of the virus? Like, no, I don't think so. Like, I had like I watched this infection. It like you would have bloodshot, cold sweats, and blah blah blah. Anyway,
I just hope that she didn't get infected while dreamwalking because we do know in some AUs that is possible. Kaden seems to be the only one of them really keeping it together. She sees that everybody is pushing themselves too hard and is doing her best to remind them that they have to actually eat and sleep. If they fail to find a cure here, the other ponies will suffer, so she's basically telling them to lock in. The final scenes of this chapter show us Rainbow Dash's perspective again, but this time she's heading to the castle, and it looks like the drawbridge is down, allowing for easy access. And the last thing we see her say is Twilight's name.
Twilight.
The next chapter starts with this awesome image of Twilight using her magic to try to find some answers in these books, but she is still having no luck. And you can tell that all this is really taking a toll on her mental as she continues to push herself more and more. And this panel here showcases it very well as she kept telling herself to think over and over again because all the ponies are depending on her. And while she's in the middle of all this, she hears a bang somewhere in the castle. And if you're like me, you likely thought that this was Rainbow.
Okay, so it's not Rainbow. Is it Spike? Spike is my guess.
Making her way inside. But in actuality, it was Spike. While he looks a bit scratched up, at least he's alive and he doesn't seem to be bitten. And I have to admit, I love seeing how happy the two of them are now that they're reunited. I also like that in Twilight's updated stat sheet, we see that they refuse to leave each other's side. And while Spike is sleeping most of the time trying to regain his strength, his presence has really helped stabilize Twilight's mental state and also given her the hope that she needs to continue researching. The next sheet shows Rainbow, and this is truly awful. She is flying so fast at this point that she is doing something called the sonic rain boom. And this basically means that she is moving so fast that she is able to create a shockwave, and she is also leaving like a seemingly permanent rainbow around Ponyville. Now, what ponies can't see is that she is moving so quickly, and since she's been doing it for like 11 days now, pieces of her are starting to peel away due to this continuous speed. But since Dash is basically a zombie now, she doesn't even realize that she's damaging herself. Another scary thing that we learned here is that Dash has been flying around this whole time because she's actually looking for AJ. And as we see here, she is repeating her name over and over again. But luckily, AJ is still at the farm, and it should be fairly fortified at this point. Next, we see Pinky again, and this was one of the few AUs where she has really locked in.
Yeah.
Alongside Fluttershy, she has been going around Ponyville trying to save as many ponies and pets as she can. She's also been using her pinky senses as a guide for how they should defend themselves, and this is why she's wearing this gas mask. And considering that she is caked in gore, we know that she has likely taken out her fair share of infected at this point. Now, one of the newest pets that the pair is able to find in town is Tank, which is the turtle here. But the little dude is so scared and traumatized that he's unable to move. Eventually, though, with the help of Pinky, Shy is able to get the turtle to safety. And while it may not seem like much in the grand scheme of things, I'm happy that these two were able to actually keep a few of these little critters safe. In most AUs, these little guys are usually taken out off screen, and they're one of the first to go. After that, we get to see AJ again, and surprisingly, she has Winona with her. And while this character pops up often in the show, I think this is the first time I've actually seen them in an AU. And it finally looks like AJ is going to allow herself to take a break, going to Rarity and asking her to take over looking after the farm while she rests. And honestly, I'm surprised that Rarity wasn't infected. It looks like whatever wound she got from Apple Bloom wasn't a bite because it's been like 12 days or so since the attack, and she
I
would have
think it was
turned
like
a
a really
long
bad
time ago.
cut or
While
something.
Sweetie Belle
Like
is
it's
still
like
safe, she has become super antsy and is constantly trying to help in any way that she can. And I think this is due to the fact that she couldn't help Apple Bloom, so now she strives to be as useful as she can to the other survivors on the farm. And speaking of Apple Bloom, it seems like she and Zecora have both disappeared into the Everfree Forest. And while this
Whoa.
isn't the worst outcome, considering that they are both likely releasing
I
spores
think
out
the
of their bodies
small
at this
one
point,
is Apple
any
Bloom,
pony or critter that
and
even
like the
gets
other
close
one
to them
is
will likely
Zara,
meet
like
an
whatever.
untimely end. And considering that they are out in the woods, they may not even notice the spores until it's too late. Next, we see Princess Cadence, and I just want to take a moment to appreciate this image. I absolutely love the way that Cadence looks here. Now, the reason that she looks so upset here is because Celestia has been working both Twilight and Luna to the point of exhaustion. Neither of them have been getting much sleep, and while Twilight doesn't look too bad, Luna looks terrible. And to make matters worse,
High
she is so
fever,
out of it
very
mentally
bloodshot
that she
eyes.
has like started referring to herself in third person. While it may not seem like a big deal, it may imply that
Leave
Luna
me
isn't really
be.
herself right now. And funny enough, when you read these little notes, she's also displaying signs of being
Heavy
infected,
breathe.
although it
Worse
still
breathing?
says that she's clean. And I think it goes back to when she jumped into Apple Bloom's dreams. Now, when we finally get over to Celestia, it seems like Cadence has finally convinced her to allow Twilight to take a break, but she still seems to be in denial when it comes to her sister. For some reason, she's unable to accept that something is seriously wrong with Luna right now. But considering that she refuses to make eye contact with Cadence, and also with her status saying that she's guilty, I feel like Celestia may be hiding something. And in the next scene, we get to see that Twilight is still desperately searching for a cure, asking Spike to take notes, but the little guy doesn't respond to her. And this is odd because he's basically been attached to her hip this whole time. And while she goes searching for him, she ends up finding Luna, and she looks absolutely nightmarish here. It's kind of hard to make out, but she basically looks just like Apple Bloom looked in the beginning of the AU. And once Luna spots Twilight, she attacks her. But luckily, before things can get out of hand, Cadence and Celestia appear to back her up. And while Celestia is trying to get through to her sister, her words are not actually reaching her, so she has to use her magic to restrain her. And while trying to console her sister, Twilight turns to walk away, her horn looking to be damaged and gore running down her face. And to my surprise, the AU ends right there, just when it's really starting to like heat up. Now, I love the idea that Luna may have gotten infected through the dream world, and I really hope that the creator gives us an update so that we can see how this resolves. I'm also curious to see how they're going to find a cure, especially since Zecora is fully have to play a role.
Okay,
As of now, all we can do is
thank you
wait
for
and hope
watching,
more.
and
If you enjoyed this
I'll
video,
go.
check out this video on the screen here. And if you
Yep.
want to support the channel further, make sure to click that join
Yep,
button and become a
thank
member
you.
of the Force.
Bye.
Thanks for
Peace.
watching. We'll see you next time
Peace.
on another